Your brain has a glitch that only shows up when you stare at your own face too long. Almost nobody knows about it. Not a trick of the light. Not exactly a trick of the mind either. Something stranger. Something that happens to nearly everyone who tries it, every single time. In 2010, a psychologist named Giovanni Caputo sat 50 ordinary people down in front of a mirror. Nothing dramatic. Just a dim room, a lamp turned low behind them, and a mirror about a foot and a half away. Their only instruction? Stare at your own face. Don't look away. Do it for 10 minutes. Less than a minute in, nearly every single person started seeing something else. Not subtle changes either. People described their own face warping, stretching, aging, shifting into someone they didn't recognize. Some saw the face of a parent, alive or dead. Some saw animals. Some described something closer to a monster, watching them from inside the glass. In follow-up studies, roughly a third of participants reported only mild distortions, but nearly as many described a face that wasn't theirs at all. And here's the detail that should unsettle you more than the hallucination itself. The participants knew it wasn't real. They stayed fully conscious, fully aware they were looking at their own reflection. They just couldn't make the illusion stop. Part of this has a name, and it's older than you'd think. In 1804, a Swiss physician named Ignaz Troxler discovered that if you stare at a fixed point for even a short time, anything unchanging at the edges of your vision will fade and vanish completely. Your eyes are built to notice change, motion, contrast, difference. Feed them the exact same unmoving image for long enough, and the neurons responsible for processing it simply stop firing as strongly. The image doesn't just blur, parts of it disappear. That's most of what explains the melting, warping, and distortion people describe. But it's not the whole story, because Troxler fading can account for a face falling apart. It doesn't fully explain why an entirely new face would appear to replace it. That part seems to reach into something deeper, a mild, temporary dissociation, where your sense of self gets briefly untethered from the face in front of you, and your brain's facial recognition system, starved of fresh information, starts reaching for other templates instead. Familiar faces, remembered faces, sometimes faces that aren't quite anyone at all. Caputo didn't stop at mirrors either. In a follow-up study, he sat pairs of strangers down facing each other in that same dim lighting and told them to just keep staring into each other's eyes for 10 minutes straight. The exact same thing happened. Most of them watched the other person's face melt into someone or something else, which tells you this was never really about mirrors. It's about what your brain does with any face, including your own, once it's cut off from the steady stream of new information. It depends on every waking second. Here's the part that reframes everything that came before it. This exact setup is centuries old. Long before Caputo ever ran an experiment, people were staring into still water, polished stone, and dark glass, waiting for visions to appear. Scrying, they called it, practiced by the ancient Greeks, by Nostradamus, by the royal astrologer to Queen Elizabeth I. Every one of them may have simply been triggering the same neurological glitch and calling it prophecy. So, if you try this yourself, dim the lights, sit close to a mirror, and just watch your own face without looking away, know that whatever you start to see isn't a message and it isn't a haunting. It's Troxler fading, dissociation, and a facial recognition system, running out of new data to confirm what it's looking at. Which might be the stranger fact buried in all of this. The face you're used to seeing every day is one your brain works constantly to hold steady. Stop feeding it new information, even for a few minutes, and it stops being able to promise you that the face looking back is really yours at all.